Hi guys, back again with us at Recap in Minutes. There is a teenage boy named Zach. He just moved to a new house. One day, he felt someone was watching him. He asked his aunt, then his aunt said that the house next to them was very mysterious. Curious to death, he invited his friend Champ to sneak into the house at night. They managed to sneak into the house, and they came to a reading room that had lots of books. Before Zach had time to open the book, someone wanted to hit their head. Shocked, the book accidentally thrown and opened. The wonderful thing comes out of that. The white monkey ran away from the house. The girl panicked, she took the book and chased the white monkey. Zach and Champ, who were still shocked by what they saw, decided to follow the girl. The girl is named Hannah. Zach and Champ asked for an explanation about what happened, then suddenly a finding machine fell from the roof and a white monkey appeared. Hannah tried to approach the white monkey with caution. Holding the book, Hannah tried to recapture the monkey by putting it in the book. But the monkey attacked him and the book was thrown away. When the three of them are cornered, Hannah's father comes to their rescue. With the book he was holding, the monkey slowly came back into the book. After that incident, they were escorted by Hannah's father, Stine, to go home. On the way they are scolded by Stine for doing something careless. Stine shared that when he was little he had a strange disease and was bullied by his friends. Feeling lonely, he wrote books about monsters. However, the monster suddenly became real and started to attack the friends who had bullied him. Because he didn't want it to happen again, he locked his books. Stine finished telling the story and went into his reading room, but he was surprised to see a book lying on the floor and the key was open. Then came someone's voice, which came from a doll. The doll is named Slappy, he wears a suit and has a scary face. Slappy plans to take revenge on Stine, who has locked him in the book. He claims to have unlocked all the books containing monsters. Slappy has a violent nature, he disappears quickly, carrying all the books filled with monsters with the car he got. They all tried to catch Slappy, who escaped. They ran to leave the house. When they passed the kitchen they were surprised to see some ceramic dwarves surrounding them. At that time they thought the dwarf was going to get along with them, but the dwarf was actually threw the knife in the direction of Zach and almost hurt him. The ceramic dwarf attacked them all. They all managed to save themselves by breaking the ceramic dwarf. It didn't work and their bodies began to reunite. They all went out of the house quickly and closed the door from outside tightly. Outside the house, there were many ashes flying, when they saw the books containing the monsters had been burned by Slappy so that the monsters could not return to the books again. Slappy spread the books contain monsters along the way, and then one by one monster emerges from the book. Zach and the others go through the city streets in pursuit of Slappy. They are shocked to see the city going into chaos, cars destroyed and people on the road frozen. Not wanting to be silent, Zach gave Stine the idea to rewrite the story about all the monsters into one book. However, Stine said that in order to write the book, he needed his special magic typewriter that was inside the school. On the way to school, they were intercepted by a giant grasshopper. Finally there was a chase with a giant grasshopper.
Oh,
Their car rolled over in a grocery store. They finally managed to hide inside the grocery store before the giant grasshopper attacked them. But instead of feeling safe, they were surprised by the werewolves who were eating meat at the grocery store. Due to Champ's stupidity making a noise, the werewolves noticed them and hunted them all down. They all managed to avoid the werewolves, but unfortunately Stine was hiding under the table. His face was covered in saliva which would make him sneeze. Zack tries to distract the werewolf by throwing a toy shaped like chicken meat, then orders Stine to come out of hiding. While trying to get out, Stine accidentally makes a sound from his mouth and causes them to be caught by the werewolves. They end up catching up with the werewolves. They managed to get out of the grocery store by locking the door from the outside. However, because the werewolf's strength was so strong, he managed to break down the door and tried to attack them. They ran as hard as they could, but unfortunately they were blocked by the werewolves. They had been cornered and resigned, but from the left they appeared a car and hit the werewolves into the trash. The driver of the car was none other than Zack's aunt, who had a shop behind the grocery store. The four of them finally continued their journey to school by passing the graveyard. At that time Hannah suddenly screamed because her jacket caught in one of the statues that she thought was a monster. Zack helps Hannah and calms her down. Zack is fascinated by her beauty. Then he tried to kiss Hannah. Suddenly a full moon appeared and shone on Hannah's body. Hannah's body turned blue. Zack was terrified to see Hannah's body that glowed blue became transparent. When the light of the full moon disappeared, Hannah's body returned to normal. Suddenly from the grave, Zack's feet are pulled by a zombie from Stine's book. Hannah helps Zack. The four of them run towards the exit of the graveyard. But as he passed the door, Stine's body was pinched. Champ kept running away from Stine in fear. Zack and Hannah tried to pull Stine's body. Luckily they both succeeded and rushed out of the place. The four of them made it to school. Once they were there, Zack pulled Stine to speak. Zack is furious when he finds out that Hannah isn't real. Stine admits that Hannah was the product of his imagination. He said that since Hannah came, his life has become more colorful. Hannah is the only person who is precious to him and he doesn't want to make Hannah sad. So he didn't want to tell Hannah the truth. When they were talking about Hannah, Hannah suddenly appeared and asked them both to quickly find the magic typewriter. Finally the four of them managed to find a magic typewriter. Stine told them to tell the students and teachers who were at school to save themselves. At night the school is doing a prom night. In the middle of the event, Zack and Champ warned them to save themselves from the monsters that were arriving to attack them. But the warning was ignored, and they thought they were crazy for saying this. There was one of the fat boys who mocked them. Then from outside the building a giant grasshopper came to attack the boy. The whole school panicked when they saw the giant grasshopper. The monsters that came out of the book began arriving to look for Stine's whereabouts, led by Slappy. Stine begins writing a story about the monsters in a secret room at school. On the school grounds the books where the monsters came from had been burned, and the monsters surrounded the school. Inside the school, Zack gives instructions to students and teachers to blockade the school so that monsters cannot enter the school. The monsters increasingly surrounded them around the school area. Where Stine was typing his story, Slappy came and attacked. Slappy broke Stine's finger. Zack and Hannah meet him and tell him to run away because the place is not safe anymore. Stine was very sorry for creating these monsters. He intends to lure the monsters to leave there by driving a school bus. At that moment Zack had an idea. Stine finally got on the school bus to lure monsters away from school. Slappy and the monsters were consumed by the trap. The giant grasshopper approached the bus and flipped the school bus over. From behind, Slappy and the other monsters arrived there. Monsters climbed onto the body of the bus, and saw inside only the statue and the bomb trap. The monster foolishly opened the bus door, and the bomb finally exploded. Stine along with Zack, Hannah and Champ who were on the other bus were happy that their plan had worked. Hannah finally took them to her secret place, a fun house. Because his finger was broken, Stine asked Zack to help type the story. But their whereabouts were discovered by Slappy. Stine continues to lure Slappy away from approaching Zack, who is writing a story. Slappy opened a book containing slime monsters. Stine sacrificed himself to attack the slime monster and told Zack to continue the story. Zack followed Stine's words and the three of them headed for the Ferris wheel. They hurriedly carried Stine's story to an end. Just as they finished the story, the Ferris wheel they were in was knocked down by a monster. The three of them managed to survive, and the monsters started getting closer to them. When Zack is about to open their book of stories, he hesitates because he is sure Hannah will also be trapped in that book too. Hannah assures Zack, she says that she already knows everything. And she is willing if herself trapped in that book to save them all. Hannah took the book from Zack and opened it. Monsters began to be sucked into the book.
Wait, hey, I've got you!
The monsters were gone and so was Hannah. Zack looks very sad because he lost his crush. After that the city became quiet again, and Stine became one of the English teachers at the Zack school. After school, Zack talks to Stine about his longing for Hannah. Stine also pointed towards their back and Hannah was already there. Zack is surprised and very happy to see Hannah. It turns out that Hannah's father has made a book about Hannah and brought her back to life. At the end of the story, Stine passes a magic typewriter. But the typewriter moved on its own and wrote about revenge. At that time, Stine realized that there was one monster that had not returned to the book, namely an invisible monster. Okay guys, so that's the story of the Goosebumps film, which has both tense and fun scenes. Until here the video of us. See you in other videos, just keep on watching and see you.